Um, I think one of my gifts is really simplifying complex processes. And so I keep getting these visuals about the Course in Miracles and how all this kind of comes together. And I think I'm going to be teaching this at some point. So I'd love your feedback to see if this is like helpful for other people. So I'm going to walk through my understanding of this process. So my understanding is this is the separation line. This is the moment that this is the tiny mad idea, right? That we were separated from love, we were separated from God, and then the ego was created, right? And there's darkness. The ego really pulls us down and wants to keep us there, and it's almost like this hurricane-like force wind or storm. And it's just full of negativity and wants to keep us isolated and away from God. But God, love, is who we really are. And it kind of feels like the 80-20 rule is in play here. 80% of the time we're, until we transcend this, we're in the darkness trying to get to the light. But once we get to the 20%, man, that's the awesome part. And so the other principle here as I walk through this is that we're going to have like love moments, or I call them love bombs, where after the ego is created, God gives us these bombs of opportunities, love bombs, where it's on the fear side. On the fear side, it shows up as like, oh my God, I can't do that, right? But it's actually an opportunity that when we go through the fear, we actually transcend that fear and break down part of the bigger brick wall that the ego has created us or created. So I'm going to continue on, and I'm going to start off with, we're born, and then as babies, what I'm going to share here is like the transgression from age, So we're born, and babies are very godlike, right? They love themselves. They express their emotions. There's really no ego there, or maybe it's not completely formed yet. And then right around 2 or 3 years old, that pattern of that's mine, give me that, don't take it away. Like the centric idea of the ego is created, right? And that starts the whole identity process. And that whole identity process, there's lots of separation. I am this, I am that, they are this, they are that, everything. And that creates the view, how we see the world, glasses, so to speak. These are my beautiful glasses right there. So the view of the world is created, and I am this, I am that, those people are this, that country's this, like all of that. And it gets grounded in this whole ego, and like it's the whole world we live in, right? And it's like from birth, young adulthood, right? And it's not until we really hit a brick wall in life that we start to question this, because our ego is really just running the show, running. It's resentment lives in it. The ego just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and I am this, I am that. You guys are definitely wrong. I'm definitely right. F you, get out of my way, blah, blah, blah. I'll kill you, I'll murder you, all that. Even little kids, like, their egos are very strong in the beginning. Like, I'm sure some of you guys that have kids, like, you've seen it. Like, they punch and beat and slap and bite and everything. It's ridiculous, right? But so here's this separation, and I like to think of it as like a brick wall, right? And every time we have an opportunity for forgiveness, we can take away one of the bricks and start to unravel, this ego. So maybe this brick wall is actually the ego sideways or something. But you kind of once you hit this brick wall and the ego is just so big, you start to question that self, why? Like, why is everything not working? All of that. And then this is if you don't do anything, right? Your ego is just huge in your life, and you've got a lot of resentment, you've got a lot of fear, you've got a lot of guilt, you've got a lot of shame. You feel completely alone in this big giant world, and you really don't want to do anything, because there's this whole wall to unravel, and man, that is just ridiculous, right? It's like those people who are really old and frail, and you can just tell they're so lonely, or that person, that's like that. And there's no room in here for, God to get in. And it sucks. I've been there. So, but there can be a moment when this can all creep in. I hope you love my pretty pictures. I did not get the gift of art. But if the person begins to become open in their life, and usually that openness happens in a vulnerable moment that they hear or see or witness in someone else. That person shares a story, usually in some sort of realm of forgiveness or something, and they feel the love underneath that. And it makes them wonder, maybe I don't have all this figured out. Maybe I don't have everything, that I thought. Maybe I might be wrong. But the ego at the same point is like, F you, I know what the hell I'm doing. Get out of my way. Don't let people know you're wrong. But that whole little moment of vulnerable moment really starts them to question, well, maybe I'm not alone. Maybe I'm not the only idiot in the world. Maybe I'm not this, or maybe I'm not that. And it's got them curious. And that can start to lead them down their spiritual path. So it's like, maybe I should try something, but they're still afraid, right? They're still afraid of this. Their ego's really still running the show. And then once you become open, this is when I think that you start to see the opportunities that God, Holy Spirit starts to give you. And you start to let go of well, maybe I shouldn't. And you start to say, well, maybe I should. And you start to see some of these opportunities instead of moments of F you or get out of my face. Maybe I should go to that spiritual group. Maybe I should forgive my ex-wife, the, horrible name you got for them. Or vice versa, or forgive the ex-husband. And you start to see that when you do that, life starts to get easier and it starts to open up, right? And the separation line starts to break down. And the more action you take and the less resistance you have and the more open you are, the faster and faster this brick wall gets to be taken out. And then everything gets, you see everybody as wonderful and everything as awesome. Love. So I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. I think my gift is really making this stuff simple. And I'm going to be a teacher of God. So let me know. Talk to you later. Goodbye.